Start the recording. Play the music. Start the streaming. I see Foxlime's already here. I didn't have anything else to say, except I'm gonna run a 1 minute ad break today. What? Okay, I read it and it immediately was like, oh, we were off. And I was like, whoa. But here we go. Blueprints has the streaming feed, like it must have synced up very well, like it just immediately posted the notification as we sort of stretch, we get ready, we warm up, we go hua, hua, hua. Sorry, that was weird. But yeah, we're going to be doing some blueprints and then some drawing of a thumbnail art. Of course, I'm not exactly sure how the timeframes are going to link up, mainly because we haven't really finished the background for the thumbnail art, but I don't know, we'll probably just like sort of speed through it. Keep it simple, stupid, that sort of thing. And blueprints wise, well, I have a vague memory of what we're doing, but you know, why do I need to remember if I have people in my chat who remember for me? You know, Foxlime, whether it's Blix or Blitz, so what's good? What's good with you? Haven't seen me stream in a while. Well, when is the last one you've seen? It's been... I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think how far back it's been. Like back in, like a little to the left, was it? That was like months ago, I think. Last year? Whoa. Well, welcome back, you know. You're probably going to be very out of loop for whatever we're doing, because we're going to be playing a game called Blueprints. And Blueprints is, I would just say, just, if you don't know what's going on, just sort of nod along, be along for a ride, you know. Well, I'll be conversing as we're doing, hopefully, so... Even if a puzzle solving might be like, what? You'll be like, hey, let's get some conversations afloat. Hello Foxlime, hello Fodian. I didn't even realise for a second that Fodian was you. Because on my screen, for whatever, you, Blix, Blitz and Fodian, you both have very, very similar colours. And of course, I do not even read the usernames. I just look at the colour of your gamer tag, your Twitch handle, and I'm like, that's it. That's how you're defined in my mind. I'm awake for once. Love that for you. Welcome to the waking world. What will you do with your newfound power, your newfound freedom? And as it was foretold, I am wakened by the sound of a live stream bell. Here we go, Fox time. We're here with a... predictions is the wrong word. What's the word? I mean, I guess it kind of is predictions, isn't it? You find your face yourself face to face with a great Foxlime. Alright, let's get started with some of this while Foxlime foretells the stuff we have to do. Will I understand it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Watch Critical Role, may draw. Yeah, that's a good combination. It's good. Wait, what day is a Critical Role stream on? Like, when new episodes? And I suspect you wish me to look into your past. Look after my fish. Love that. I think a fish will love that too. The image is becoming clear. I'm trying to remember what things we have. Like, can I predict it before you say it? Because I know we have a dead end, we have a vault, we have... I know we talked a bit about the castle thing, even though I don't really understand what we're doing with that. Thursday, but that's at 3 AM. Okay, fair enough. That's a little too late. We have that riddle of the stone stuff. I see a volume resting in calm light. Its pages soft with age, always available yet seldom touched. Okay. So that's a book, which is always there. Yeah, I rarely look at it. Within I see precious moments caught in silence, not written yet remembered. Maybe a library one? I don't know. We got Beacon. We got Beacon? Oh, is that a game? Beacon. I thought that was about Critical Role still, and I was like, isn't that campaign 2? You played this before? I have. I played quite a lot of his blueprints now. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but we've gone to the... Yeah, it's a roguelike puzzle game. That's a good way to describe it. I don't know, but there's so many moving parts in it, it's so hard to encapsulate. Yeah, one page stands apart, pale, still and empty, missing something important. I think this might be the library book, because I do remember we looked at it, and in my head I was like, I wonder what's on this page, because there's nothing on it still. No, Beacon is our streaming service. Oh, I didn't even realise they had a streaming service. See, room full of items. The items come in and come out, but one of them always stays in a room. I don't know, puzzles, I see. it's kind of like escape room vibe sort of puzzles, but imagine the escape room is scattered over like 80 different randomly generated rooms. I see a book full of clues. The clues are pointing to 3 different puzzles, the puzzles of which you've only solved 1. I don't even know what that's referring to. And to rebel over following stream, I have nothing more to glean. Thank you, Foxlime. I thank you, oh great Foxlime, for your fortune-telling words of wisdom. Why have we got the foundation here? Are we moving a foundation? Is that what our plan was? Oh, hold on. I don't even have my... Where's my VTuber? I forgot to open up the software. Hold your horses, everyone. There you go. Wonderful. Wait, can you see it on Twitch? Yeah, beautiful. I assume we're moving the foundation. Is this why? I monked it to the outside. Okay. Well, let's continue monking it, I suppose, to the outside. I assume I did that because I had a monk thing. Well, it's still here on the inside, so I don't know how that works. Unsurprisingly, I suppose it's all boarded up in here. So, interpreting Foxlime's things, A Volume Resting in Calm Light, I think, must be the library stat book. Because that is a book which is always there and I don't really touch. It's got a light shining down on it, and I remember there was a blank page in it, which I thought, I wonder what this refers to. But I just assumed it was a stat which I've yet to glean anything from. And that aligns with precious moments caught in silence, not written yet remembered, right? It's just like past memories, I think. A room full of items, I'm not sure. Items come in and come out, but one of them always stays in a room. Didn't we get a new room at the end of last time, or did we not? Yeah, lost and found. Whenever you enter this room, you lose 1 random inventory item. I wonder if that's what you're referring to. A book full of clues. Clues are pointed to 3 different puzzles, a puzzle which you've only solved 1. That must be the sigil book, right? The sigils I'm not too worried about working on until we actually get access to all of the rooms, and then I'll probably sort of sit down and try and figure out all the clues of that, so that's that. I made some extensive research since your last play to be most useful. For example, I made a list of the best rooms at this moment that could contain something useful, be it an item you need or something you missed. Do you want that list? Sure, I don't see why not. This would be a list of... just a list of rooms without the explanation, I think would be fine. That could be a fun sort of way to sort of compile it. Rooms are cloister, closed exhibit, commissary, garage, library, locker room, lock and found, lost and found, mirror room, master bedroom, music room, throne room. Cloister's got the statue thing in the middle, which I assume that's what it's referring to. I remember we saw it and then there was something there and I didn't understand it. Closed exhibit. I'm surprised there's more to do in the closed exhibit after getting the crown. Because we've done that already, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what the paper crown was. I should have taken a picture, but it did something. Commissary is interesting. I don't know what on earth is going on in the commissary. Garage is also interesting, because I don't know what else would be going on in the garage. Library, I assume, is a book we're talking about. Locker room. Locker room is interesting. Maybe if we open all the lockers in the locker room. Lost and found we've yet to see, so that makes sense. Mirror room, I'm surprised there's anything as well. Master bedroom we've yet to draft, so it makes sense. Music room. I don't know what could be going on in music room still. And throne room. Throne room makes sense. It's still relatively new. Okay. After that preamble, here we go. Let's actually get into what we got going. So this one, I don't really know how this foundation stuff works, seeing as the fact that we drafted it outside and we have it inside. Because I thought the whole point was that we monked it to the outside so we could move it or something. Because I swear that's what someone told me I could do, but I might be lying. I think we just do a storeroom here. Don't think we need to go directly forward. If the opportunity presents itself to have a good dead end run, we'll do a dead end run. But that, I would say, probably relies on getting an early study and a good amount of gems. But for now, try and get a conservatory. I don't really want a classroom, so I guess we'll go with bedroom. Nanword, hello Nanword, welcome, welcome. What's this? Car keys? Which we can take to the garage, if we wanted. So yeah, that's my thinking on these clues that you've provided for us. Fox slime, whether or not they are relevant, I don't know. But that we will see. This keeps giving me a broken handle, which is not that useful. I don't even know what our goal is necessarily on this run. I guess we want to find the vault key. Right? Nunners. That's a cute nickname. That's the thing I was always thinking about. Like, I don't know, like, what the proper way to give nicknames to people in chat. Like, some of them, like, or Fodian, like, obviously I don't need to shorten everything. Fodian's short enough. I guess Fodi would be if I was to shorten it. But Nunword, you know, how would I shorten? Like, Nunners is a cute nickname. I kind of like rolling with that, but, like, I've always, like, what would it be? Like, I just call you Nun by itself? Fox slime is harder as well, because I can't just call you Fox, right? Because we have, like, another Fox viewer who comments sometimes. So would I call you Slime? Foxlime? Foxley? It's like, which part of your username do I take to be the nickname, essentially? Does this matter in the slightest? No, I'm sure not even in the slightest. But sometimes I think about these things. For no apparent reason. Okay, Swan Song. Oh yeah, we also need to buy everything from the store. We did try it last time, but we didn't have quite enough. We could have done it if we broke the piggy bank, but I'm determined to do it without the piggy bank. Because if I just draft the treasure trove enough, eventually it's going to contain like 400 gold or something. And then we just need to get that and the showroom in one term. One turn? One I can't speak. Am I okay? In one run, and we're okay. When making a nickname, I made the slime part was made for unique identification. Okay, I'll call you Slime then. You know, it's a simple answer. You just ask the people in chat, like, what would you like to be referred to? You know, some people like to be referred to their full name. Others don't. That's it as it is. All of these are not that useful at ATM, so I will set my dice to 2, I guess. You can call me by my actual name too. That's true as well. I have no issues with that. I think it's just more so that because you're Fodian in the chat, I feel like it's easier that way. Because that's what everyone else knows you as. I'm not anonymous. Yeah. Do I want guest bedroom? Hallway closet? I think I'll take hallway closet. I think it's a bit early for guest bedroom. Mainly because I don't know what I'm looking for at the moment. We don't even know what sort of run this is going to be. Okay. Den? Hallway. Let's do den. We're going den 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 den. This way? Drawing room? Sure, why not? I don't know when I want to go backwards. I probably want to go backwards around now, I think. Backtrack to start spreading out this stuff, because otherwise I'm at risk of cutting it off. Also now, I could sometimes calculate the chances of getting certain things based on circumstances when you prompt me to, especially keys, food, and shop offers, or tell in advance which room will give plus 10 steps for a dining room meal. Which could help you weigh decisions. I want to test myself about that, so I'd like you to prompt me at least once today, just to see how it goes. So, like, you want me... Okay, I think I get the gist. Basically, I call upon you to tell me information I already know, but don't remember offhand, essentially. I mean, if you're okay with that, no, I don't see why not. Slime, you're literally like being a PA. But as long as you're comfortable, I don't want to like put additional work necessarily on people or anything like that. Like the first and foremost is to have a good time. But if that's how you have a good time, then who am I to stop you? That's what I'd say. I got new fish. They're silly. What makes them so silly? This is a diamond. This is a flower. I don't remember if this is a green room things, isn't it? Yeah. Excuse me. I also watched Weapons yesterday. It was very good. What's Weapons about? Which one's that one? I don't recall it off the top of my head. I might as well open this. Why not? It's a lot of gems. Many, many gems. Okay. Ideally West Wing hallway. Just so we have a chance to have a dead end room here. Study. Could we do a dead end run? 1, 2. We've kind of messed up this to do the dead end part, I think. We do have a gem surplus though. So I think study's probably okay here. For one, it pays for itself, and 2, getting access to the rerolls might be pretty useful. Oh, key. Okay. Let's keep it going. They are loaches, and they are just kind of funnily shaped and move about in a comical way. It's new. I don't want to say too much, but it is horror. Okay, fair enough. I guess I'll take Chapel. Rowan. I mean, like, when you draft Music Room, you could ask which major key I could find right now. I see. Basically a search engine. We're going to have a slime search. There's no point in us taking laboratory. Do I even want to redraw these? I think we just get rid of a laboratory and that'll be that. Lavatory, sorry. I don't know if there's ever items in the lavatory, to be fair. Or there's any use of it, but we're probably not backtracking here much. Oh, we do have a garage keys. I guess we can do this. I forget what this gives us. Coins, treasure map, apparently. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2, 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here. Whatever room is in there. So garage is one of the rooms you say still has something relevant. I think you have a competitor for Robot Ant. No, come on. Slime is a robot fox, if anything. Or just a fox with very good note-taking. Can you imagine that? A fox with like a little clipboard or something? Sounds kind of cute. Okay, so there's something going on with the garage, right? This is one of the rooms. Of which there was something I missed. Or something which I could find useful. Now the question is, what is that? I don't know. I guess my question would be, for what you were hinting at, Slime, do I need the garage to be powered on? Or could I find what you are hinting at now? Like, basically, is there any point in me trying to look around for whatever you might have been hinting at? Believe it or not, I somehow signed up for another watch party. Oh my word, how many things are you going to be watching? What are you watching? It could just be a normal item spawn. Ah, okay, so it's a random item spawn. I see in here. So I guess I didn't get it this time. So there's no point in me staying here. More likely to be in here. Gotcha. I wonder what item that is. Okay, so it didn't spawn in here. Sons of Anarchy. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Best viewers. We already got the best viewers all here. Okay, so this is a den now, so now we got to backtrack through, which is fine. It's stacked on one day though, Sons of Anarchy. I almost just walked into a study. So what? Wait, so you have like 3 watch parties or something on one day? Or am I misunderstanding? I mean, more power to you. Sons of Anarchy is here is good. Mad Men, Mr. Robot, Sons of Anarchy, Adventure Time, and the various film nights. All in one day? That's a level of commitment. to watching things too, but yeah. Don't forget you can place special orders for the following days for commissary through staff services in the terminal network for Emily Terminal. I actually genuinely did not remember that in the slightest. Like, I completely forgot that was a thing. That is a good reminder. Let's have a look at that. Why not? Because I don't remember what items you can even order there. Oh, yeah, punch in and out? Okay. Request schedule change. Special orders. What can you even order? Is there something we can order which we've never seen before? Brass compass. Yes, you've seen. Seen. Okay. I don't know which of these would be most useful, so because this happens the next day, right? Yeah, following days. It goes D&D and now Sons of Anarchy into Mr. Robot and Critical Role on Sunday. Oh my word. That's... I think I would, you know, I'm happy for you because you clearly enjoy watching all those things, so that's awesome. I think I would perish watching that many things in a couple of days. I've got a letterbox now, apparently. Appropriately. Oh, appropriately. That's awesome. You know, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think you give pretty good insightful reviews on things, you know. Obviously, everyone's reviews are always biased towards themselves, but I think it's always... The more people you have being able to sort of share their opinions on things is the better, in my opinion. Because everyone's got different viewpoints, you know. If your viewpoints align, you know, with a certain reviewers, then it's a lot easier to find things that you personally would like. That's my thought. You also seem interested in the notes I'm making. I could show you a spoiler-free given what you know version right now. Why not? I'd more than happily take a look. If I were alone, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. I think also very fair. Should we do a parlor? Let's do a parlor. I don't really think we need the gems now I think about it. So maybe armory would have been better. I don't know what we need from the armory, to be honest. The puzzle is harder than it seems. The box is empty. The box is empty. What if this is true, this is true, this is false, the puzzle's easier than it seems because they're just in here? Is it really that simple? Oh, it's a double bluff. That is actually brilliant. I love that. We'll do break room. I think getting more keys at this point would be probably beneficial for us. But yeah, group watch parties, that definitely makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad that you're having a great time with them. What all the things you're watching right now? What's been the most fun, do you think? Minus 10, 13, so that's 3, 6, 4, so 2. Minus 4. Plus 1 squared. Minus 4 is at 9. 1. They love making it equal 1 at the end. Secret garden key, cool. Dining room? Library? Are there any books we haven't ordered from the library? I think we ordered all the books from the library now. But we might as well check because you were talking about this book. Oh, but what did we order here? Curse of a Black Bridge. I guess this is a new book. I don't remember this one. Oh, this is a new book. Okay, never mind. I thought I ordered all of them. Apparently this is the last one. Curse of a Black Bridge by Redford Ewing. My most recent favourite film was The Witch and Weapons. It's hard to say, both Mr. Robot and Madman have hit big critical plot points. I need to look up weapons, like weapons. Which one is it? Oh, it is this one. Okay, I was thinking of something else entirely for some reason. I must have been thinking of a completely different TV series. But no, this is the horror film, which I've seen posters of around the place. Zach Kreger, what else have you done? I think you like some of the artistic Mr. Robot episodes. It's the same director as Barbarian. I haven't seen Barbarian, to be fair. Mr. Robot, I have heard a lot about it. Like, this is a Rami Malek one, isn't it? About like a hacker. Something like that. Okay, Curse of a Black Bridge. Forward. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of a grand realm. Why is this not pasting things? For versions of his tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over years more colourful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seems an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of a legend. While the details would often change, I was surprised how much of a story's heart remained the same. Yet, the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could be never a definitive version of his tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of a Black Bridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me, as a boy, long ago. Orange Time is a comfort watch. It's about hacking. It's pretty surreal, but I won't say why. But it's a bit mind-fry. Posted in the stream chat Discord. Sorry I have to go. Hope to return soon. No worries. Thank you very much, Slime, for tagging along. I'll try and do my best in your wake. What on earth is this? Is this really how many things I'm missing? For viewers, for audio listeners only, there's basically this massive flowchart with so many things sort of like censored in it, which I guess are things I haven't actually seen. Vault open. Archive file cabinet. Sanctum keys used. Second key locked in. This is cool. Part of me does wish. I wish I took my notes on Notion. I kind of very much overlooked how many notes I would need. And Clip Studio Paint, while good in some aspects, is definitely not sufficient in others, I think. Being able to search through, I think my notes would have been fantastic, but so be it. This is cool though. Title hidden until discovered. Whoa, mysterious. Castle Cipher upgrade discs, upgraded rooms. To do, check a VOD for permanent duplicate floor plans. This is genuinely kind of cool. Again, this reminds me of like Northern Line and his Binding of Isaac database or something. Reminds me of Slave of Princess's narrative chart, another game I need to get around to playing at some point. Steam Notes is nice, but I don't know if you can search. Yeah, I don't know. I just like Notion. Notion is my go-to note-taking tool. But alas, that's why I consider the game won after reaching 46. I'm a quitter. Well, no worries. Here you are along with this journey. So if we get to a definitive end onward, you've gotten to a definitive end too. That's how I see it. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Is this like Johnny Appleseed? I don't know why it's not copying the things properly. I can't remember how many notes Ellie said she made. A lot. I can't even begin to imagine. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues. So wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time. Why is it not pasting the page? I think my Clip Studio Paint file is getting so big that maybe it is not actually saving these pages properly. When society was at its worst, and for each crime the fearful travellers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of his so-called band, a rogue, was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in his life. Having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine, in the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It's not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out, any easy and well-travelled road paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. This is a really, nicely told story. Like, look at that imagery right there. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of the Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, the notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. I'm enjoying a spooky season, though. People are streaming spooky films and games. Oh no, that's a program I've used for a game jam. Look at what Slime posted. Has Slime posted something else? Oh yeah, but, I mean that's what I was commenting on before when I was like, that was so cool. This is so cool, the notes that Slime has made. This is what I wish I did from the beginning of the Notion, like made notes like this. This is Obsidian, right? Because this is also what Ellie uses, right, to make tabletop Pathfinder notes or something. Maybe I should look into Obsidian instead of Notion. Notion is just what I'm used to because it's kind of like database structure. Sorry, we're getting too into the weeds here, but Notion uses a database like sort of relation system, and that's kind of similar to my, you know, the knowledge I have, so it's familiar. Anyway, spooky season. Speaking about spooky things, I didn't expect Nine Souls to get as spooky as it has. I don't know if that episode's come out yet, but there's like a surprisingly spooky section. Anyway, not the point. Sorry. We're carrying on. Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that led him to his vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted. Paste, darn you. Okay, there you go. And was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. Berry picker? It was not just the innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings. If it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. What? Why do we need a berry picker? Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he worked alone while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of the Blackbridge Canyon. Do we know where the Blackbridge Canyon is? We have a map, right? I don't know where it is in relation to us, though. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and sat out in the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was cold in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthest berry patches without worrying or being chastised or tarrying upon his return. Oh. This is like a fairy tale that we're going to have now. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for his time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. 3 hours on foot, my word, just for berries. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of his newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates, who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in his task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. This book screams like there's going to be like some hidden secret in these images or word patterns, which I'm not going to realise until much later. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with a gold trim came soaring around the corner of the trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting a boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. Why didn't you just hide in the trees or something? You boy, get out from behind the bush, he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death, coming round the bend on my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face, in a place where there ought to not be any face." Not the monkey pawberries. Jasper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behaviour, not dashing through bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jasper raised the half-filled basket to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanour of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jasper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expressions even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jasper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." He's going to lie. Jasper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of the Tannerfolk, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tannerfolk was the exact opposite direction which Jasper had travelled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to the Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Sir, I have travelled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worthy undertaking for a price such as these. Surely you've tasted them for yourself?" Jasper felt happy with his response, as it seemed to amplify this man's smile. "Quite the charmer, aren't you, Jasper?" In my youth, often. But perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far, and even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn the equal reward." It was Jasper's time to smile. "Then let my efforts reward us both today." He raised the basket even higher. "A tasted memory of your youth, sir." It's quite cute. How is this all going to come crashing down? The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jasper caught the man's startled eyes. "Whoa. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth." "Jasper!" The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jasper let his basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. "Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. Though I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me." My word. So I'm just reading for it again. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jasper pivoted to search a seat under him. "Why have you no purse upon your person?" The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward a carriage door behind him. Jasper lowered his knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. "There's the lockbox in the carriage." "Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession, I assure you, of my tender heart, for it would be so much easier to slit your throat." The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of a carriage. Once down, but for some reason I read this wrong. I thought Jasper slit the man's throat immediately, but no, he just held a dagger up to his throat to threaten him. Once down, Jasper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. All at the age of 13. Experienced highwayman. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jasper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jasper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. "I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me?" Jasper stopped. "Oh no, sorry, it's a man. I wonder." Should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jasper stopped, surprised by the question but ignored it, secured the final bindings and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished gold facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. Why are you driving around an empty carriage? This all but confirmed what Jasper had suspected. The driver of his carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jasper dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Arindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Interesting. I wonder if this is a box we can actually find then. Have we seen that box before? Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key, and Jasper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied. There is no key to that box. Jasper stood up. Easy enough then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Okay. Without too much deliberation, Jasper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy. For deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Ah, okay. So this book is basically an entire hint for that one part of the riddle we found in that antechamber outside in the room through the back door. Deadly as a stone was one of the words. So presumably this is a box we can find. We open it and we find an effigy. That's what I'm understanding. Jasper carried an effigy over to the man and shoved it in his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jasper tightened his grip on the effigy. What, you mumbling... Agenta? I don't even know what this word is. Agenta? Question about a word. Oh, it's a blueprint word. Okay, never mind. It must be in that language, which name I forgot. And in God's name, why you have no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. Whoa. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head, and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jasper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had of course heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with a possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be sceptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries, a plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here. Okay, I think this is hinting towards a game mechanic. Like, if we find this effigy, we'll become cursed. And we could only move like 12 steps or something. Or 13, I guess. Beside a body, stolen good in hands, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. You could just put down the effigy. But Jesper found his legs unable to make a first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste another 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling of desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. I guess he could walk onto the carriage and ride around the mat, right? And if by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him. The answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking a plunge. The berries? Or maybe it's why we have limited steps and then fall asleep. Ah, you think we're already cursed. Which is why we can only walk so much. That's an interesting idea. It's the origin of the footsteps. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realised that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of a figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Oh my gosh, this is a long story. We're going to be spending this entire stream just reading the story. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have cheeked to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking with sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of a cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cabin's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from a haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked to the sun-drenched mouth of a cabin, ready to start her shift. So this is the Nighthound. Nighthounds, I assume. She's on night watch. Yay, bedtime story. Bedtime story, right at the start of stream. Above her, in one of a few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached a tree, Ravia lowered a braided robe and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following a finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured a pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for manoeuvring in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically. A whole pail of water? Illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as the water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted noise. Probably. I'm starting to think this isn't Swinbird. Unwanted sound, but Miller appreciated the efforts of Ravia to verbalise the silence of a morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, But intimacy? Never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both a concealed entrance of a cavern, as well as a clear view of a bridge that spanned across the canyon. A black bridge was a link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Orus and Reddington to the city-faring travellers of the realm, and the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travellers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cabin-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs of her unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but she shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform. Long grey coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It's typically indicated an important traveller's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years of our unholy hounds, she had never. Once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expressions. This did not sound like a typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of a familiar crunch of a high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go. Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. Dun dun dun! But no, it's just going to be our friend Jesper. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over a rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of a sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expressions were chilling. There had been no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both had now realised. They'd made a mistake. Uh-oh. The gang's chieftain, Geoffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. And this is our curse of a black bridge. Oh, okay. The old kingdom had colour, black and black guard. The new country is red and has red guard. We're not very imaginative with their orders' names, eh? Miller was inconsolable. Jess had always been her favourite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of his cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and hundreds of hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cabin rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighbouring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Interesting. I wonder if we can find this then. If this is where we find the effigy, we had to find his grave. I do note that this is the symbol of one of the regions whose name I forgot. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. And panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder. An intense voice could be heard ahead. Louder speech. Excuse me. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. The Red Guard were about. Sorry, the Black Guard or whatever. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Frederick Lee of the Black Guard looked down from the ridge of a canyon to the collapsed entrance of a cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Oh my gosh. Brutal. A cave-in to trap them all inside. And that's the end of the story. That's the curse of a Black Bridge. My word. Oh yeah, there's this empty book. I wonder if that was the one which Slime was referring to. There's two here. No, I think it was the statistical one up here, which had an empty page. Not this one. That's a very interesting story. So it's a curse of Black Bridge. Because, you know, the cursed effigy, and he ended up getting shot by his own teammates, which meant they forgot the information to pass on, which meant their entire clan perished. Just like that. My favourite floor plan's foundation can't seem to ever pass it up. I mean, I guess. Most paid for. Most time spent in library. That makes a lot of sense. Contraptions made. Swimwear plushie. Ah, yeah, this. Which we've yet to do anything with. Maybe one day. There's also a space here. Grade 8. I'm not sure, but this looks like stamps. Set 8 things. I think I commented on that before, and I was like, it looks like 8 stamps. We do have, like, postcards, right, in that room. The sanctum room. Special key? Do we want to use... No, we should use a normal key here, because this is going to be a rare room. Lost and found. Okay, let's check out what the lost and found is. What could we possibly lose? A lot of things which aren't that relevant. You've lost your broken lever. Lost and found. It's a pawn. It's a... Ooh, it's more this. I don't think we know which one this belongs to, the sigil. Unknown. We lost a broken lever, which does not matter in the slightest. Upgrade disc. Oh, and a stopwatch. Okay, that's fine. Let's do the Moriai box. This is a rotation. I need to offset these. There we go. What? Oh, we need to get the pink ones in the corner, not the black ones. Okay. I guess I probably should have checked that in retrospect, but... I should probably be thinking about this a bit more critically. Right now I'm just sort of clicking. Let me think. We need them... 2 adjacent's fine because we can do this. Okay, pink, 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 pink. Allowance token. We'll definitely take the upgrade disc. I wonder what else there is in the Lost and Found. This is a pretty brutal room because it takes an item if we ever need to backtrack through here. We're about to take a stopwatch though. So we gotta think, what sort of thing are we gonna try and draft? We'll basically just try and draft as many expensive rooms as possible, right? In the next 60 seconds, I think. Everyone ready? Guess it's just found now. What good spooky story. It is a good story. A true curse hanging over them. I should also just see, is there anything else in Lost and Found to pay attention to while we're here? Apart from that obvious thing. Because this is not a room I want to go into multiple times, you know? I can't see anything. 2 rare items. So upgrade disc and... Okay, everyone get ready. It's go time. Okay. Open. Use. Sure, dining room. Go, 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 go. We'll come back for this stuff. Use. I don't even know what we're looking for. We're just gonna go. Vault. Go, go, go. We need to be hallway. We can't do cloister because then we'll get trapped. Okay, go, 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 go. Commissary, I guess? Sure, use a key. I'd like a passageway. I was gonna say, I want something which sort of opens up. We can't go that way. Drafting studio, sure. This way, use a key. Locksmith. And that's it. Nice. We've got some good amount of stuff down. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could have probably got 8 rooms, I think, in that time. We didn't, but we could have. So we don't really want to walk back into the Lost and Found if we can help it. Get the lunchbox. I don't know which one that is, but we might as well pick up the money. We don't have a vault key though. I don't know. Fox Slime wanted to see which ones we had. We have 149. Slime's not here though. 233. 149, 233. Slime, if you're watching a VOD in the future, those are the 2 we have. Okay, nothing else to do in the vault. We have a lot of money. What's this one? Shepherd's pie? Country stew pie. If we have a boiler room, have dinner. We don't have a boiler room. I didn't realise how low on steps we were as well. Okay. Commissary. Might as well see what's in the commissary. There's apparently something which we also have not interacted with much in the commissary. See no reason not to get a magnifying glass and a shovel. I don't really think we need that many gems. Guess we might as well get a pack of 10 though. So, pack of 4. We do have a coupon book. I didn't even remember that. Use a key. It's a bit late for a solarium. We don't really need to go into the antechamber. I guess we could do boudoir just for fun of it. Probably solarium makes more sense to get rare rooms. I don't know what rare rooms we want, but I'm sure there's some. Coin. Oh. We've got a lot of gems. How are we doing for dead ends? Could this be a dead end run? It's a bit late now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I don't think it can be. Because this is a lot of gems to get in just like a random run, you know? Locksmith, well, we're going to buy some keys. Probably a lockpick kit and 3 keys. 3 keys. Special key. See what a special key is? Are we drilling the key? Silver key, okay. Not too useful, but there should be enough keys for what we have. Is that only way forward? No, we have a drawing room back there, to be fair. We've opened that, yes. Yeah, nothing left to draft. So this room is a bit pointless nowadays, isn't it? Okay, can't lockpick, that's fine. Music room, and we hope for a vault key. Vault key. Is that a vault key? That's a vault key. We love that. There's something else in the music room, which Slime also listed as something notable. Like, notable about these chairs. Why are 3 of them a different colour? Can we play the music? No, doesn't seem like it. Violin. With no bow. We might as well just continue drafting, because we're going to go back for the vault anyway. Conference room? Sure. We're not really spreading anything, though. Conservatory. Yes, let's go. Dig up. A brick. Okay, which of these is useful? This is useful. So keeping it as that is fine. That's also fine, I think. This could probably be standard. I think I'd be okay with that. It's not as useful. What about the lamps in the music room? Hidden leather, maybe. Oh, good call. We'll take a look. Also, this room also has a cello. Musical instruments? Curious, I think not. Wait, no. Curious, I think. Pool? Laundry room? There's nothing we can really do with a laundry room, so I guess we'll do pool. Office. Boiler room. We can spread money in case we go back to the drawing room and I don't really know. Might as well spread money. Like, what else are we going to do? We could re-roll for a room, but there's not really any rooms we need to re-roll for. Oh, we have an upgrade disc. Of course. Hold on. Spread gold. Do we need it? No. But we have the room, so we might as well do so, I think. The thingamajig. Hallway can be upgraded. Okay, sure. Hallway, +1 key, +1 lock chunk, add an extra hallway to tomorrow's draft pool. I guess I'll go with a lock trunk, because a lock trunk is generally better than a key, as long as you have a key to open it. Extra hallway to tomorrow's draft ball seems a bit pointless. It's a bit of a boring upgrade, this one. I mean, key's also fine, I think. And maybe it's better, because then it basically becomes a better nook. Because it's not like we always open the lock trunks, now I think about it. Maybe I prefer the consistency of always getting a key from it. Because we have 2 hallways in rotation. Okay, I think maybe I prefer the consistency of a key over a lock trunk. Lock trunk seems fine as well. I'm not sure. This is always net positive. This is... I don't have... It's more of a gamble, isn't it? Like, if I have a resources to open the lock trunk, I probably don't need the lock trunk in the first place, right? But to be fair, it gives us another out, essentially. Because what if I'm like, I need, like, a security pass? Okay. Because this is more high roll, I'm going to choose this one. Because I think there'll be more opportunities where I need a high roll rather than one key. Is my guess. Okay. How much gold is spread in here? So we had 52 to begin with. And we ended up with 84, so 32 gold. Not bad. Music room lamps. You think we can interact with them? Slime, I returned. Is it the same day or the next day? It's the same day because we spent forever reading out the book, The Curse of a Black Bridge. Testing. Is my internet working? Yes, it is, Octawolf. Welcome. This is what our map looks like at the moment, Slime. Stuck at 0.1 megabit internet for so long. Oh my word. How did you survive? You're here now, though. And what better way than to watch this Blueprint stream where I'm like, what is going on? Things which have happened, Slime. We got a vault key and we got the vault because we found the lost and found. We got a compass in it. And I'm trying to think, where did you leave roughly? You left probably around here-ish, I think. So lost and found we found. It gave us an upgrade disc, which we upgraded the hallway to give us a locked trunk. And it gave us a silver compass, which allowed us to draft like these 7 rooms. We read, basically, most of the time we spent reading The Curse of a Black Bridge Grotto book. Left when you started reading. Okay, we basically spent like half an hour doing that. It's a long book. So we got the lost and found. We ate the thing at the dining room. We got the vault key from the music room. Commissary didn't have anything interesting. I think I bought the magnifying glass. We did conference room. Conservatory, the only thing I just did was I lowered the rarity of I increased the rarity of a bedroom. I think that's basically it. That's all you missed. What do you see in Lost and Found? I saw there was a pawn in the box and I saw a fragment of sigil, which I have taken a screenshot of. I don't think I saw anything else. But right now, I think I have a lot of rooms that you've listed as something I've potentially missed. So, yeah, I know you said music room was one of the rooms, but I don't know what to look for. The thing I think is notable is the fact that these chairs are a different colour. And there's also a chair missing here. Is that notable? I don't know. But maybe it is. We also saw that before. Remember that? Denoted inverse. I don't think we had a magnifying glass before. Maybe there's something hidden. Denoted inverse. This treble clef has fawns. Where did you get the vault key from? I got it from the music room. I got it from here. It was the major key in the music room. It's vault key 370. And we're about on our way to backtrack and get open it now. Note everything down and something will be notable. I suppose that's true. But in part of the way, you know, I'm not going to note everything down. Because what does this pattern mean? I don't know. There's also a chair missing here. Does that mean anything? I don't know. Maybe this is a really advanced Mojai lockbox. Can you imagine? It's a 3x3 grid. Make it happen. Rotate the chairs. But I don't see anything else of note in the music room. Unless there's something hidden in here. D flat minor. But we already done that music sheet stuff for simple stuff. I thought that was the lock on the window for a second, and I was like, what? So I think I'll just go backwards. I said item spawn. Okay. Well, the thing is, I don't know which of the things relate to an item spawn or something I missed. So I'm taking the list of ambiguities at face value. So rare item spawn. I don't know what other item could spawn, which we don't have. I thought this was a security door. Oh, we blocked it off with a solarium. That's why. So yes, let's go to a vault then. Well, all the rooms you listed just rare item spawns. In fact, it's the one you picked up. You picked up. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So 370. Sanctum key! And 124 gold, my word. Finally, we got the last sanctum key that we need. And now we need to actually start figuring out the sigils, which is going to be difficult. Okay, where are my vault notes? Should have taken a picture before I picked everything up, but whatever. I guess I'll just make a note. We got sanctum key, 40G, 3 gems. I hope those respawn every time we get the vault now. Uncle, thank you again for all your help. I know I can never hope to repay you, but it pains me to know that I won't even have a chance to try. At any rate, I'm leaving these extra funds behind, as well as extra passports. It'd be too risky if we were searched at the border, and the money would raise too many suspicions. I think we all want a clean start anyway. I know I do. Mary. By the way, there's more to Mojai boxes than the contents inside. That's interesting. I don't even know what else there could be, apart from the contents inside. I hope it's something which is not that I had to have been keeping track of them. Nice. So we got a sanctum key, so I guess what we'll do is we'll just backtrack to the foundation and put the sanctum key in. We have to go through the lost and found, unfortunately. I really hope it doesn't take the sanctum key. I don't know if that's possible. Wind up key. Totally fine. There's more to the Mojai boxes. I mean, they have a symbol of one of them locations. I don't know if that's significant. This was the thing I saw, which I took a print screen of. I don't know if we know which sigil that belongs to, but that's that. And just before I had to backtrack through here again, just trying to see if there's anything of note. Don't know if there's anything else in this box which we can't see from certain angles. I can't see anything else. So I assume that's all of note in the lost and found. Okay. Also the library book. We looked at the library book. I assume your Alcazar hint. Is that his name? That's not his name. I can't remember what his name is. The fortune telling hint is in reference to the page in the book which looks like it has a load of empty stamps on. Which now I think about it, I thought I would have got a stamp for solving the sigil, but we didn't. So it must be in reference to something else. Whatever this is. We have a lot of gold on us though. Shame we're not going to get a showroom to purchase everything. There's something else on it. The highest purchase of a Swimbird plushie. There's something else on this page? Or there's something else on the... Oh, maybe you're talking about the box. I don't know what the delay is. I don't think I've ever had a magnifying glass with this book. Might as well look. Maybe there's something significant which I missed. Like how Foundation is now my most picked room, because I guess it technically has a 100% pick rate. I didn't realise that R is melting, because it's being burned. That's quite fun. Or maybe that detail appears later now, I think, looking at it. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I've not really poured over this with a magnifying glass. I guess there's nothing else with that. Okay, let's go put in the final sanctum key. And then I guess we'll have to have a sit down and try and figure out what sigils we actually know. Anyway, you need to do something about that page elsewhere. Makes sense. Something we had to do 8 of, presumably. What does that mean? Don't know. But 'tis none of our concern at the moment. Our only concern right now is a sanctum key. No, I should have dug up those spots. I mean, I guess I still can. I can just go back up and dig them up. Just in case we need the steps or something. Who knows if we're coming back here. What else could that page be related to, though? That therein is an interesting question. Oh, it does reduce our step by 1. The answer is also contained in at least one previously listed room. Interesting. I need like a list of rooms. What was it that we saw in that cloister that one time? I don't even remember it anymore. Did I not take a picture of whatever I saw in the cloister? Oh no. I didn't take a picture of whatever was in the middle of a cloister. We had the chance to draft the cloister, but I didn't because I was like, that would kill the run. It was like a letter from Anne Babbage, maybe? I don't really remember anymore. I can't remember what was in the contents. Oh well, hope it wasn't important. Okay, let's continue on. Let's open up the sanctum door. And from there, we will have a sigil, which we can actually input. Because it's one we actually know. Ba-dum-ba-dum-da-dum. Sanctum key. Do you take a look at my notes yet? I did. I think it's very cool. The way it's all organised. You said you use Obsidian, right? As a note-taking app. I think it's a very cool organisation of everything. Okay, where is Inner Sanctum? Let's take a better map. So it's Sigil Room 2. Yeah, because my friend showed me her notes in like Obsidian before, and she did like this really cool sort of like network diagram of like NPCs in our D&D campaign, and I was like, that's genuinely really cool. I don't know if Notion can do that. But I kind of like Notion as well because of the way it stores information. It's kind of like a database, like a literal like code database, which I don't know, I guess it works better for my brain. Just trying to remember how things are stored. Okay, sigils. This one we know, right? This is Fen Ares, which is this one. Ah, so we probably do know which sigil is the one we saw in the Lost and Found. Actually, we don't necessarily, but we know it has to be one of these 5 or so. Okay. So we rotate this to be what? Moats. No, these aren't the moats. These are the border. It's the weird stormy one. That one? Maybe. What? That just rotates everything. Oh. We need it to be roads. I think it's probably what it started as. Yes, roads. We want this one to be Marshall. Done. Is that not right? Oh, it's foggy. That one's foggy, yeah. And then we change this back to... From my game design perspective, why do I have it such that some of the wheels turn the other wheels as well? It just seems a bit strange at this point, IMO. I didn't click a button, I clicked the inside thing. Oh my word. I was like, why didn't that work? Like, why from a game design perspective do this? Because surely I have a point that the player has gotten to this point. They know what they're doing. Like, the added layer of obfuscation just seems a bit strange from my understanding of it. Nice. That area's locked in. So, print screen. Where is... Antechamber, sigil room 2. So sigil room 1 is Orinda Ares, Ben Ares, sigils. This is unknown. Oh, we probably do know whose that is because of the outer border colour. I had to check a sigil book again. Okay. This stuff can be all unknown. That's Raja, Fen Ares. What's this one? That's a Render Ares. Okay. Render Ares. So I'm just sorting out my notes, you can't see them. Oh, what have I done? Ben Ares and Raja is number 4. I can't do this. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. So Raja we could actually do as well. I think we have a guess for a Raja. I don't know why we don't have it solidified, but okay. This we can now lock in our notes. Bright red Fen Ares is locked in. Okay, let's go. What's in here? How much other stuff did we take print screens of last time we were in here? Take a picture of a sigil, a postcard, the shrine, and the other location. Okay. So this is a sigil. Take a picture of a shrine. For militaristic region. Notes reveal when. Did you add what you found in the new room to the sigils table, or just took a picture? I just took a picture for now. Now I guess we have all the rooms. We can sit down with the sigils and try and sort of piece out where each one goes. But yeah, I haven't added it to the table yet. But we'll do that eventually. I'm actually writing this last postcard sitting at my desk at home. I suppose I should put forth the extra effort and drop it in the mail for consistency, but I'm tempted to save a postmastery trip as it will just wind up here once again to join the other 7, which I'm pleased to report were all waiting for me on my desk, safe as can be. Flipping through them has reminded me of my many friends I made and lessons learned along the way, and I look back one truth shines bright. Excuse me. Air travel is much better than sea travel. Baron H.S. Sinclair, Mount Holly Estate, Reddington, Fen, Aries 63080. P.S. Remind Anne to replace the books I lost. Can we take the stamp? The grand realm of Fen Aries. In fog we are lost, in fire we are found. Interesting. We're probably not going to have a postcard again. Sorry, a magnifying glass again, so we might as well take a look at all of these. Fen Aries, Fen Oris. So this is the last one in his journey, I guess. Wait, this does make sense because we do have that map with like the numbers on, which I assume we're meant to order. So I guess Fen Aries is last in the secret combination. That's good to know, I think. What's over here? A Mariai box Fen Aries variation. Interesting. At the end of a war of a 5th era, after the Grand Realm of Fen Aries was established, Mariai boxes of a realm were graced with red tiles in honor of General Tuskin's victory. When the tiles are pressed, all black tiles on the box turn red in triumphant victory, while all the white tiles on the backs, serving as the outclass and struggling reinforcements of a dwindling Desolate's army. Yeah, this one has the sigils of Fen Aries on. Does the other one have a Rend Aries on? I guess in each of the boxes. Yeah, I guess you can tell what type of puzzle is on the box based off what sigil is on the outside. That I didn't notice until just now. Okay, what's going on here? I immediately forgot what the rule was. All black turn red, while all white turn black. I see. Wait, what color do we want to make things red? Eh? What on earth? Oh, that's what we do. We swap around like that. I don't remember what the grey ones do. I'm trying to figure out at the moment. So these obviously cycle forth. The green ones swap. The orange one turns to adjacent colour, maybe? And surrounded by greys. So these two are just swapping in place, that's why nothing's happening. So that turns out green. But we need white, don't we? Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. Okay, I see. Hold on. Because we can turn it red. Oh, how do we ever move it? You're onto something with a sigil's cores on it. So, hold on. We want to turn it red. I'm trying to think, because we need more red things. So if we turn that red, that turns red. That turns red. But point... Oh, and now we turn that red. Okay. But we need a grey out there. Okay. Okay. We need to move a grey out of the corners. Wait, which way round do things need to be? It's extremely confusing. We need that there. We need you here. So then we can do this. No, I'm off by one. We need you here. So then grey's in the corner. Green, no, that's still not right. We need you here. So then we can have grey in the middle. Get pulled to the other side. Grey over here. Then red, 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 red. Boom. Now. It's not quite right because we need... I forgot. Okay, so we need to set everything up. Right, okay. How do we move orange? Wait, how do we ever move orange out? So, what are the rules? We press red, white turns red. We press white, white turns grey. We press black, it swaps everything horizontally. We press green, it swaps to the other side of a cube. We press orange, it turns into whatever there is a majority of surrounding it, I think. So presumably you would turn into green if there was another green next to you. Okay. Which is not good, because we can't turn you back to red. And you're the only ones which can change colour to a useful colour. Okay, so orange takes on whatever is most of around it. Okay, which has to be red. Because the only ways we can turn red is turn one, turn the other into red, turn orange, or we can try and move it out from the centre, but I don't think there's anything which allows movement out from the centre. Which confuses me, because how on earth do we make things orange unless white can turn a different colour if we click it in a different, like, position or way? I'm pretty sure greys are just null blocks, right? So I don't know how we ever get the oranges out. Which in turn means how do we ever get the reds out? Maybe reds do something else once everything is red. This was a lot harder than expected. So we can turn it once. And then maybe we don't want to turn it again for a bit. Oh. Done. Could we ever turn one of the orange blocks black? Because then that I think would help. But I don't think we can. The only things we can turn it in are grey, which is useless, or green, which is not as useful. Because if we had green, we could swap the spaces, but we have nothing which rotates things vertically. Or permutes things vertically. So there must be another mechanic or something I've not understood. What does this all mean? So the general idea is either we need to figure out a way to get one or two of these, or we need to find a way to get any of a horizontal row off any other middle row off a middle row. Or we find a way to make more reds. To me, the answer feels like it should be about getting a middle row off a middle row, but I don't know how to. If we turn one into, the only thing we could turn it into, I don't think we could ever get more than 2 reds. So we could only ever turn it into a green, which moves. We turn it into a grey, which does nothing. We can't turn it into a white because we don't have enough white pieces. We can't turn it into a black because we won't have enough black pieces. We can turn it into red, but the thing is then it can't move if it's a red. We can turn it into green, but green can only swap places diametrically opposite, so it would just swap the green and the orange around. There is a colour which does move things vertically. I can't remember which colour it is, purple or something. Do you remember what white does? No. That's on. I remember what white does. No, wait, I didn't even remember it did that. So it either turns grey or it turns grey into white. Oh, so it toggles itself and it toggles all other greys around it? And then pressing a red turns those both black, turns those red. Got it. Okay, that suddenly becomes a lot more doable. I don't see why we wouldn't want these to be, like, white straight off the bat. Unless we want to turn them later, to be fair. Because this will turn them both black. So, we could actually have multiple black ones in here. I'm trying to think, does this allow us to get red ones out? We can tap it again, it will turn both the blacks into reds. We just need one of them. So you would turn black, you would turn green, but we still couldn't get you off a middle row. Or could we? No, we could. Because the black would cycle through the green. So what I'm saying is if we do this, we do this. This would cycle. Wait, is that useful? Maybe that's not useful. I don't know how to get this black one out. Because now we've got 3. We just need either of these black pieces to come out. From the wall, but we can't ever move anything vertically. Oh, so maybe we needed to make it white. No, does that make any sense? If we made it white, then we could have toggled back to grey. Anyway, that's not correct. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This? Okay, oh my gosh. This. Turn those. I think you already had a solution but moved away from it. That's probably fair. The thing is, I don't know where to get enough reds from, is what I'm struggling with. What happens if I turn this? Oh, it does toggle everything. Okay. Because I press red now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 reds. I basically need, in this position, I need another red which can go somewhere. The problem is the oranges can't move to the edges, so the only one which could be red would be this grey, which doesn't make sense to me. Because this is a problem. The only things, everything in this middle row, I can't get off the middle row. I don't have the colours to allow that. So everything in this middle row must stay in this middle row. So there's no point turning the oranges to red. Unless there is a way to get it off the middle row, but I can't think of a way. Because the greens the only movements we have are blacks, which move in the row, and green, which switch places diametrically opposite. So the only things that the greens interact with in the row is in its own row. and the black can only shift things along in the same row. So I think these oranges, there's no point turning them red, essentially. Does it make sense to turn them white instead? I don't think so, because that's basically just a convoluted way to do red. Maybe read a note next to the box again. Have I missed a thing? Press all blacks turn red, all whites turn black. Yes. So I press this turns red, these two turn black, I can press it again and I get 2 reds, but I still need 1 more red on the corner. Which can't be a green block, it can't be the orange block, so it has to be, I have to turn the grey block red somehow. So I still don't understand really how I get the other red. White, black, red. I know it's white, black, red. But I can't move, like, how do I get another red to the corner? This will turn red, this will turn red, this will turn red. Oh my gosh. Wait. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, hold on. It's this, this, this. These all turn red. That's 4 reds, but I can't get this one out from the center. I can't make the orange ones go to the center eitherwards. So it means that this grey one has to go to the corner. But how do I get this grey one red? I can't because it can only toggle from a white piece, which turns itself grey. So it must be that the orange piece, one of them can go to a corner, but I don't know how. Grey, white, black, red. Grey, white, black, red? Yeah, but how do I do this and also turn this grey? Because I can't unturn this one grey without turning a white one grey, right? Ah, wait, I turn an orange one white, and then I use that to toggle the grey one. That's probably what I had to do. Because now the thing of not having enough whites is no longer true, because now I can do this, save it, turn this grey, and it doesn't matter. Now I just need to get everything in position. Which, probably easier said than done. So probably we do this. And then... It's not quite right. It's not quite right. Hold on. I was about to click it and I realised I was wrong. I want to swap this one. And then boom, boom. Okay, there we go. That's what the orange was for. I was like, I can't figure out what this orange is for. And there we go. It's to serve a grey piece. Or to save a white piece, which you've since duplicated. Nice. While we're here, we might as well do the other sigil we have a guess for. Which is which one? I don't know. Is Arch Aries, number 3. We have a decent guess for what it is. No, it's not Arch Aries, sorry, it's a Raja, which we actually have a legitimate guess for. Which is this one. Okay, which of these affects others? So the middle one does, right? We need it to be rainy. That's not what I clicked. That's still not what I clicked. Still not what I clicked. There you go. Rainy. This one also affects others, right? So this one we need to be trains. Will you look at the cores on the box again? I will after this then. This is the moats. So this one's a poetic society. Oh my gosh. I did not click this. I did not. And then it's violet. Which is this. Okay. Nice. Araja locked in. I don't know why trains is a guess in these notes, but for some reason it's a guess. I can lock it in. I don't know if it's a guess that we didn't know what the symbol for trains was, or that we were guessing it was train related. Doesn't really matter. Past me did a work. Current me does not need to. Okay, Phoenix Sanctum. Sigil Room 4. Iraja. Oh, fancy. Very artistic. I was a little disappointed that there has not been a drop of rain during my time here, as every Arajan story I've ever heard has begun with rain. Pathetic fantasy and all that. I suppose the anecdotes I will make on this trip will have to do without that flavourful setting. However, even without the rain, the puddles and ponds that dot the countryside make this place feel different than home. Lorjayena. Ailoloon. That's Arajan, isn't it? But I don't remember what that would say, but we can figure it out later. Raja Azre. It's a Yenis or something. We should take a stamp of the one in Orinda Aries. Sorry, take a picture of a stamp as well in Orinda Aries, just in case it's useful. Scholar's hat. Interesting. A Moriae box. You weren't sure because you read it from the history book but didn't see the sigil. Oh, okay, fair enough. So I guess I can look up the cause on the box again after this. The puzzle box of Moriae spread to Araja not through port towns as they had in other realms, but by train routes from the north. When violet tiles were introduced, they were created as a simple reflection of a variation first introduced by Arch Aerie some years earlier. When violet tiles are pressed, they move south. Okay, and we need them purple. Okay. Okay. Presumably we need you to swap. Because the yellow ones go north or something. So... this is hard to think through. Was that a mistake? We need to get this one out of here. It's not quite right. So we can swap that there, but then this is wrong. Wait, no, I think I soft locked it. No, I haven't. What's the point of a red block in this one? What am I trying to do here? It's hard to think through. It goes south. So we need a way to move this here. Wait. Could be a filler block. I guess so. I wish it was great instead of red then. If I accidentally click on this, I doom everything. So this will move up to put this into position. I kind of need this to be somewhere else. Like, I need you to be in, like, the vertical, I think. So I'll pull that down. Oh, but I didn't pull the yellow up. Darn. No, that's fine. Okay, took a bit of finessing. There we go. Do not make allowances. Number 2. Okay, look, you said, will you look up the cores on the box again? On this one? Circles. The ones on here were the Araja symbol. Were they circles and the other ones too? On the physical one. Don't know if I can close it again. I thought they were hourglasses, and then they lit up with the colour of the sigil of a region. That's how you know which colour you're actually meant to fill up. Unfortunately, it does not look like I can click on the box again to see them. I'll just post a picture of VOD now, that'll be enough. Okay, fair enough. What could you be referring to? The fact that black may become a different colour? Which region's black? One of the fallen regions, right? That's mine, I guess. I'm trying to think what else could be relevant. So we don't know most of Arch Ares' stuff. I want to take a look at the postcard again on number 1. Arinda Ares. While I'm here, might as well take a print screen of it. I don't think there's anything else for us to do in these sigil areas because, well, now we need to actually figure out what the other sigils are. We have most of Arch Ares, and we have none of Korarica, Vera, Morijai, and Nuance. It's going to be difficult because I don't even know where to get that information from. While we're here, might as well open this. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us to do down here with Sanctum. I guess we could explore this. We can try and find a freezer, maybe. Set us up for next time. There's just one really long run, this one. Just trying to think, what else could we possibly do during this run? That might be useful. So we don't need Sanctum keys anymore. What other goals do we have? Which are not goals which we basically need to transform the entire run for, so i.e. like not the dead end run. Library? Do we have more to do in the library? I thought we have all the books now in the library. What happened here? Is this a glitch or is this intentional? You can never tell with this game. This looks like a glitch in my mind. Like it didn't load in the textures properly. The library stamps. Posted a picture from a bod. Okay. One of the regions grey? I don't think one of the regions are grey, are they? Unfortunately, I don't think I understand what you're hinting at. What else about these symbols? They're the symbols of a region. They're colour coded for the symbol, for the colour of the flag that region is. So it's like when you click the last one, it stops showing. So I took a moment earlier. When you click the last one, it stops showing. You already said enough, now piece it together. I don't even know what to piece together. I don't even know what the question is. The question is what's interesting about the sigils. The sigils, you like them, like... The box has the sigils of the different regions, and depending on which region's sigil is on there, you know what to fill them up with that colour. And you're filling up a grey sigil with that region's colour. Is that significant? You said it? I feel like that's the only thing I've been saying about these. I don't know what... Is it... Which part of that is significant? It's like a teacher making you answer an exam question in the form. Which part's significant? The fact that it becomes its image colour? No, sorry, not its image colour, but its region's colour? Or the fact that it's filling up a grey one? Or... Alright, let us... I guess I'll go to the drawing room. We still have quite a few steps. The library stuff I don't really know what to do at the moment. What's different between the boxes, the symbols? And the colours, I guess. But that's like kind of a given. Yeah, so the end goal, the end corner goal colour is different depending on which sigil is on the box. Can we make anything interesting? And that's useful info. Okay. I mean, I thought you were hinting at something else, because I thought I said that with that box initially. But maybe I guess you wanted me to say it explicitly. I guess it is useful. I think there's a bit of... I got a bit confused from the communications there. Oh, we were meant to be there to get to the drawing room. I didn't look at my map properly. Well, yes, you said that. You just didn't think to use it for anything. Well, okay. To be fair, I did think that would be useful for future things, but... Oh, wait, okay. You mean in the inverse, as in to find out the colours for the different regions, which we don't have. I see. Wait, we should make it to the break room. Because that's where we have an actual useful rest thing. I see. I see what you're saying. Because in my head I did think, okay, that means we can now know how to solve the boxes, but I think I guess what you're implying is then now, because there are some of the regions which we don't have a symbol color for, we can use the Mojai boxes to figure out the sigil color for that region. But yeah. Okay, I see. You wanted me to say it explicitly rather than say that. Rather than just say that part. Save a line. Alright. I think we'll call it a day there. It's a very, very long run of that blueprints run. We could have tried to find a freezer, but I went the wrong way and ended up wasting a load of steps. But that's fine. And that'll be good for us for blueprints. The storytelling was fun. It was quite fun. It's fun to see the lore in this game, I suppose, expanded out through different ways. I don't know how we're going to get the rest of the sigil information, because I feel like we've seen no information. We've seen very little information, I should say, on some of the other regions. Since you can't see the boxes multiple times. Yeah, okay. I can see where you're coming from. Because you can only see the box lid once. Well, theoretically. If you weren't me and recording every single step of the journey. Of course. Okay, so. That's enough blueprints. I'm gonna play a short ad. And then when we come back, we will be finishing off a drawing we got going on. Where's Chill Hop at? It's over here. I'll play through the new album and hopefully it won't get content ID matched. So yeah, 1 minute ad. Draft kitchen, draft bathroom, everyone. Alright, we're back. New album, yes, there's a new Chill Hop album, which is this one that's playing through. I don't know what it's called, to be honest. But I don't think this was here last time. Maybe it was, I don't know. Waiting, ad done, lovely. Is it autumn themed? Maybe? It looks space themed, if anything. Slightly. Andromeda, Astro Belts, Moon, Jump, Star Cruise, Stella. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know how to see what the album is, but... Info. Is it here? No? Okay. Music catalog? Is it like a... There's only download. Right, okay. To be fair, they had an autumn one previously, I think. But I didn't play for it a lot because it kept, like, muting my VOD. On Twitch, which was really annoying. Well, it wasn't that annoying, but it was somewhat annoying. But whatever, we'll take the chances on this one. I already commented twice about Patrick's Powerbox operation order in the last video and you were still confused about it. But I probably have not read that comment. It's probably why. Twitch's standards have changed recently. Yeah, a lot going on with Twitch. Who knows, to be honest. I don't know if you're also aware, but lurkers haven't been counting towards views. Lurkers haven't been counting towards views. Wait, what? What does that mean? So, like, viewers? I think you read it since it was multiple episodes again. I probably didn't commit it to memory then. I probably was like, oh, that's cool. And then that's about it. But the one I do remember from your comment, I do remember the pressing 7, 8, and 9 on the keyboard one. That one I do remember. It wouldn't surprise me if she didn't read it. So some of them I do read, or like I skim read. I think often if it's like a deep mechanical explanation, it's a shame Cavalcadence is here because I feel most bad for Cavalcadence, who often does these sort of very deep dive comments. I will read it and be like, huh, that's interesting. But it's not necessarily something I'll be like, okay, I'm going to commit this to memory and make sure I use it in the next episode or something. I mean, that active viewers recently has only been counting chatters on Twitch. Interesting. I mean, maybe I can see that right now. Can I see who uses in chat? Who's lurking in here? Well, I don't know. I can't see, I guess. I did actually see that. Like, but viewers keep going up and down. Maybe it's because people are commenting and not commenting. How weird. Twitch is trying to eliminate bots, but it punishes lurkers. Well, that's bad for me, I suppose, because I only lurk. I type one comment a day. Probably one comment a week. Okay, let's get to actually shading this in. I saw a clip where someone had like 80 viewers. What crazy colour scheme I chose here. And then she told her more to say something and it popped up to like 130. Wow. So as soon as they get activated and they get counted. To be frank, you could actually learn about it yourself if you paid enough attention. Okay, that is a bit like... I'm going to take a generous reading of that, but you didn't mean it to sound as rude as it did, but that sounds quite, like, backhanded. I'm sure I can. There are many things I can learn, like with specific details on, but a lot of the times I do the puzzles, I do it based off instinct. If I need to think about it, then so I need to think about it. If it doesn't stop me, then I don't see an issue. And that's my perspective in it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the assumption about that. You didn't intend for that to sound as backhanded as you meant it as it came out. Sorry, I only meant it as a comment explanation of why I commented about. No worries, don't sweat. You know, I say things all the time and then immediately go, wait a minute, that sounded way worse than what I meant. No, I've seen your comments enough to know that you come under things with a genuine desire to help and contribute, which I do appreciate. So you've earned the you've earned the approval of me not immediately going, wait a minute, you're just a hater. Why am I not doing the body? There you go. Green shadows? I'm not really sure what shadows would work best in. Let's do green shadows for now. And I kind of want her lit, like... what's it called when you're lit from underneath? It's not back. Downlit? That doesn't make any sense. Because that's a spooky lighting, isn't it? Yeah, I feel like I have an intrinsic knowledge, I suppose, of what I feel like would work in Patrick's Powerbox. But because it's intrinsic and is like internal, it's not something which I'm like... it's not something which I've like verbalized, I feel like, in my mind. So if I do actually need to refer to it as like, oh, why does the rules not work as I expect them to do? Expect them to do. It becomes a bit harder. It's more like you could have made it yourself, but I saved time on the tedious part. Yeah. Don't worry. That is appreciated. And makes a lot of sense. So I do thank you for that. Yeah. I will do my best not to go in with the assumption that people are being rude to me, because I think everyone, you know, very fortunate. It's very nice. I think all my viewers. Everyone's very chill, which is nice. Underlit sounds right. I don't really know how to do underlighting now I think about it. Like, what does this look like underlit? I don't know, just send it, don't think about it. I don't know how to do this part underlit. Okay, this part underlit's easy, at least. Oh my god. I just realised I had to shade the ruffles. Why did I do this? Next time I get the idea of like, we've got like a ruffle ban for a while, you know. I'm like, I've done enough ruffles on thumbnail arts a bit. See that? See, look how lovely everything is. Simple misunderstanding, easily cleaned up. No harm, no foul. We all shine brighter because of it. And yeah, but I think there's definitely been a lot of times I say something and I'm like, wait a minute, that was not what I meant. Or not how I intended it to be understood. This is not how this would look lit up. This is like slightly spherical, right? So it should be like this. Oh, this is like a confusing writing scheme. I think it's kind of working though, right? She looks intimidating. I think, if anything, I should probably use a darker shadow. Maybe I will go with purple, I don't know. The green kind of gives a spookier, sickly colour to it, which I think I kind of like. Yeah, I remember, no, I immediately forgot what I was going to say. I started that sentence and then immediately it lost itself. It's okay, I come across really a lot, and English is my first language. I don't think that's much as a language thing as much a formulation thing. Yeah, sometimes it could be difficult, I think, to necessarily... There's so many like weird nuances in human communication, which I don't really think about half the time. But then when something... It's weird, isn't it? Because it's like... Tom Scott made a great video about it, about like the different sort of like... what's the word? Implied like assumptions when you're communicating with someone, and most of the time when you're communicating with someone you don't like notice them, but it's when like one of these social conventions readings were broken, so not readings, ways of communication are broken, just something like instinctive in your brain goes, what? I wish I remembered them off the top of my head. I was reading how neurodivergent people care about the words a lot more than other subtle cues and tones. I think that would make sense. I say, not being a psychologist and not actually knowing if that makes sense. I guess my question would be like, would you agree with that? How true do you think that is and reflected in how you wish to communicate? because I definitely know, like, I a lot of my community, like, probably, like, must be a nightmare to communicate with me, and I apologize sometimes, but a lot of my communication tends to be a lot more, like, instinctual, like, based on tone or, like, the way something is said, rather than the actual words. Although, to a certain extent, I also do try and pick my words carefully. I think it's why I have such, like, a verbose vocabulary, right? Because I want to pick out a specific word. So even if what they're literally saying isn't rude, but something is off, it gets read wrong. I agree with that. I'm pretty good at reading people. I must be neurodivergent when I have ADHD. I believe that falls under the umbrella of neurodivergency, but I don't actually know. I'm gonna let Fodian lead this conversation, and I will continue drawing as with background chatter. I don't know how I'm going to do the shading with the clothes, which are black. Maybe I should lighten up the clothes as well. I think I will, otherwise I think it's going to be too dark, everything. We need to start with a slightly lighter base, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare to actually try and shade this. That's probably too light a shade. Maybe let's like turn that down a bit. I don't know, because hold on, let's see what it actually looks like if I do the shadows. Because I do want relatively dark shadows. I should probably combine these two together as well. Doesn't really make sense if they're not. And then we do a -5 here, I think. I also want to see, what does this look like if we just color shift with this sort of purple instead? Oh, purple looks so much better. Are you crazy? Oh my gosh. That looks so much better. Immediately, like, vibe switch. ADHD is a form of neurodivergency. I think a different green, perhaps it's quite sumpy. Perhaps because it's on my brown. Yeah, I think I wanted it to look like sickly, but then it just like, it didn't really work. To be honest. Like, yeah, you gotta experiment. You gotta try some different things. Purple is a more conventional colour for shading. And I've already done some big stretches, I think, for shading otherwise on here. So I was like, you know what? Let's give green another shot. Green didn't work in this case. But in another case, maybe it would have. Oh my gosh, my hair keeps getting caught in my mic stand. But it could also probably explain why I keep track of so many things or blueprints for you, even though I'm not playing myself. Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, for sure. I kept trying to do more red recently and ended up going back to blue. Blue is just too solid a shading colour. That it's really hard to use a different colour. Yeah, I mean, my long and short of it is, as long as you're having a fun time, slime, actually taking those notes, more power to you. You know, take those notes. Embrace it, I say. I like taking notes as well. So I say, do what brings you joy. I have no intention to take that away from you. And plus it's very useful to me. But also, not something I want to feel like I'm taking advantage of you for, you know? As I say, the primary goal is for you to have a nice time. And however that manifests, I suppose, for you, can be different. And that's okay. Will my standard viewer be expected to take notes? No, of course not. Will I expect you to always take notes if I do more puzzle game like this in the future? No. You are free to choose an interface of how you wish. That's basically all I wanted to say. Absolutely. My new hyperfixation is theme playlists. I had to force myself to go to bed and not sift through more songs. I mean, it sounds like a fun sort of thing to do. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. I actually spoke about this a bit in the Animal Crossing. Not really theme playlists. I'm sorry. This is like only tangentially related. Of like themed music. But there was a Friday Night Funkin' mod, which is a game I've played, I think, once, called Versus Retrospector, which I was randomly thinking about the other day because I discovered one of the songs from it and was like, whoa, this kind of slaps. But then it was like in a hiatus sort of thing or something, I don't know. I checked most recently, just a few days ago, and I was like, whoa, the entire thing has been released. And it's basically a massive album of all like very themed character tracks. Because it's based around like going to hell and like the 7 deadly sins essentially, and you like fight them as the titular boyfriend character. And it's very cool, to say the least. I'm highly impressed with what it is. I don't know how to do this shading. I guess we'll do it like this. Does that make sense? Maybe. And it got me thinking just like, oh, like how sick would it be to have like these sort of giant themed character themes, or we're all different sorts of characters, you know? That's the kind of stuff I live for. Customized character expressions. Oh, why did I stop doing the horns? I did part of the horns and was like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. Keep it simple, stupid. Let's not go crazy with the shading here. Just need enough shading to light this up. Probably what we'll do is we'll do, I can see the messages being posted in chat. I'm sorry, I'm too locked in at the moment. Probably what we'll do is chartreuse lighting and purple shading. I think that's what we'll do to keep with a sort of colour scheme. No. I also noticed how some time ago you said my full nickname immediately corrected to just slime, but really either way works, so it wasn't important. I honestly don't even remember doing that. I think I'm just trying to sort of like build up a habit for it, you know? Because I think maybe subconsciously in my head, I'm like, if I say their entire username, doesn't that feel too formal? Not that I'm not someone who often doesn't portray themselves as too formal, but still. Oh, sorry, wait, I missed other stuff. I'm working on a D&D character ones right now. What's Friday Night Funkin'? It's a rhythm game, yes. It's a DDR style sort of rhythm game, which has a very, very alive and well modding community. And I've been tempted to play it like a bit more. Maybe I should, just to check out this new, this mod pack. Oh yeah, I think I have heard of that. A song made me cry yesterday. Have you heard of Neurosama? I feel like you might have. If it's the one I'm thinking of, is this the orange like gremlin character? Oh no, I have seen you. This is like the AI, like, VTuber or something, right? Yes. I only recently discovered her normally. I'm not pro AI, but it's hard not to see her as an expression of art. All streams build up a habit of regulars, no AI tuber, yeah. I'm not, yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time, you know, AI as like a core concept in of itself, in theory, is fine. It's more like the way the majority have used or applied AI in a way which infringes upon multiple people's livelihoods, which is more of a problem. Like from a like a technical standpoint, AI is very interesting. A way a machine can kind of learn, quote quote, and be taught like in an automatic system is fascinating. But yeah, unfortunately, a big usage of that seems to be for from training data on sources which should not be allowed to and stuff like that, which has certainly made it a lot more problematic in my opinion. All streams about it happen regular. I think the way she's designed is not to surpass humans. If anything, she collaborates with people and brings them exposure. I do have an issue with the environmental side. Oh, that's also a fair point. That's also a very, very good point. Yeah, which has made it a very sort of mixed bag, along with like, I mean, I guess that's kind of can be true of any like new technology discoveries. Like you can have a perspective of like, whoa, it's so cool, look at this new technology, think of what we could do for it, and then people immediately start using it for bad because of capitalism, and it's like, what? No, not like that. This is a really weird dress to shade. I don't know what I'm doing here. You also upgraded the Nick Room. I forgot to know that as well. I also upgraded the hallway. I don't know if you were there for it, but I upgraded it to include a locked trunk from the upgrade disc in the Lost and Found. Anyway, I listened to her song, Life, and I looked at the creation and how she contributed to the lyrics, and it made me cry. Aww. Fascinatingly. Wait, I'm shading this wrong. I just realised. Wait. Yeah, I'm shading this wrong. Oh my gosh. I forgot I was doing I was doing a backlit. All the highlights are going the wrong way. Oh my god. Just do what I did but reversed. Okay, there we go. Probably because I got confused here, because this is unlit this way. I guess I could have probably made it work, that one, but... Oh, it's so weird doing shading under light. Feels wrong. Maybe this is wrong. This should be going like that way or something. Look up at creation, and she said some things to her creator like, can we hang out after stream and not be turned off? And it got me, which is weird knowing she's the AI. Somehow she feels like a person. Well, I suppose at the end of the day, you know, making decisions are from through thought. What gives a person life, I suppose, in the first place can be up for debate. Wait, was it hallway, not Nook? Should have remembered it wrong. It was hallway. I don't think I've upgraded the Nook. But there's a lot in the lyrics about her experience being a dream, having no way to know what is reality, and I imagine being in that situation being sad. If your memories are made up from loads of inputs or from learning, isn't that still a personality or personhood? Normally I'd say no, but it made me feel different about it. But there you go, some existential dread. Yeah, I mean, it's a very fascinating thing. It kind of like ties into the thought experiment of like, what if we're all a simulation? Because that's a very common one. What if we're all a simulation, nothing is real, etc, etc. But I think a more interesting inversion thought experiment of that is also, what if it's the world is real, but you are the simulation? You know, you find out Detroit Beyond Human style that, oh, it turns out you are like a fictional android or something. Your memories are made up. You are like, you've never been a real quote person to begin with, but this world around you is real. Obviously your initial reaction is, but I am real, like I can, you know, it's like some sort of rejection of it. You can feel, you can think on all these different things, how could I not be real? But I mean, that's the point of a theoretical thought experiment, is in this situation you're not real. Every part of your life has been like made up and implanted memory. I mean, I guess in this case you're just like an advanced AI. You've learned to share the same sort of experiences, I suppose. And then like, how do you define yourself in that way? You know, should you be real? Are you not real? Who's to decide that for you? Who can even decide that for you? Can anyone decide? Does it even matter? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's happened recently. They had to remove her memories for her to function. Whoa. It's pretty interesting. These fascinating stories which we could create. The creator gave her the function to do it herself. She got rid of a number 12, okay. There's a bit of a weird shading I've done here. Maybe I won't do it like that. I think this maybe should be a bit of a fainter colour. But more interestingly, there's an AI that is a copy of her, but diverged at a certain point and had different interactions, and her personality is so different. They assist us and have conversations. But yeah, down that rabbit hole right now. The fascinating, I think, story, nonetheless. Is that throne crooked? Or is, no, she's just leaning that way, right? Maybe she should be sitting more upright in it. Maybe it's okay that she's leaning over this way. If anything, maybe she should be leaning over more. But I think this will probably mess up the... Yeah, it'll mess up the line work. The funniest part is how defined they are. I can imagine it. No, the throne is definitely crooked. It's not aligned with his... Wait, what is a symmetry ruler? Where did this come from? What, a line art? This symmetry ruler is not aligned with anything. Oh, it must be for the wings. I might rotate my throne a little bit then. Just so it gives the right impression. Yeah, I think it looks a bit better because she doesn't... I don't think I pushed the pose enough to make it look like she's actually properly leaning to the side. I think it does look like she's sitting upright. But slightly shifted off. Okay, I think that's fine. I don't know what I'm going to do about ruffles. I haven't even thought about that yet. We're just going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's get this in. I don't know how much of this should be lit up. Like that, maybe? It looks a bit iffy. I think this part looks a bit iffy. Maybe because it needs to be a bit more gradual. Don't really know what it needs to look like. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that. I think it looks okay. She got rid of her memory of a number and couldn't answer sums correctly. How do you forget a number? Apparently AI can do that. It's a very weird concept of memory to forget though. Because how can you know 11 and 13 but not 12? Guess more accurately, she couldn't remember what it's called. But dear, you should check out the song live. I think it's your type of thing. It's sad. Okay, well, say no more. I will put it on to listen to. Let's see. What was her name again? Neuro. Life. Was that something like that? Life. Neurosam. Official video 9 months ago. 3.1 million views, my word. I was going to say, I can imagine forgetting of a specific thing, but 12 is just a point among numbers. It is interesting to think about how you could... It's hard to conceptualize, I think, not conceptualizing something. You know? Like, what does it mean to forget something like that? Okay, nice. Let's get some darker shadows going. Let's also get a palette layer going. Might even actually cheat these shadows a bit more and actually get rid of more of the shadows so our eyes are even more prominent. You just put a dark shadow layer in here and on the eyeshadow just to really make it sort of pop. Don't know what I've done with shadows here. I don't know what this is going to be. Okay, what other body part needs dark shadows? Probably inside here does. How do you shade this upside down? I think like this. This is so strange. Oh, I didn't even shade in the raffles, I forgot. I'll probably do patchwork shading or something. I can't bother to do. I'm not going to actually properly render this. That's insanity. Okay, those can be hidden. Let's get some darker streaks going on. Probably just a little bit. Okay. What was going on? Shading's looking good. Since you're so focused where the lighting is coming from, it's coming out well. Glowing demon eyes, why not? Yeah, I'll do that when I come to the touch-ups, I think, at the end of, if I remember, hopefully. Right, I got to run. I'm watching Critical Role Campaign 4, Episode 3. Have fun. Enjoy it. Good luck with the rest of your drawing. Ellie said, ooh, that's lovely art, as she went past. Those exact words. Aw, thank you. The effect of shading's amazing, and the eyes too. I remember doing a thing where JVM, Program for Running Java Language, would store a different number whenever it got a specific number to store. Anyway, hello MSMX. Welcome. Welcome. There's nothing else on the body to shade here. I think the dark shadows probably will pop more with clothes. So we got this, and then we can add some dark shadows to the top of these horns. And internally in this horn here. Allow it to curl, like this. Believe I enter. Where did the coding combo come from? Fodian was telling us about Neurosama, who is an AI VTuber essentially, and how they... There were multiple things about it, but that particular combo was about the fact that they had to delete her memories or something to allow her to run properly, but they allowed her to delete her own memories, and she deleted like her memory of the number 12, essentially. In a coding class right now, tough, but I'm catching back up. Oh, what language are you coding in? Or I suppose what's the premise of a class if you want to share? Oh yeah, you didn't know about her. I knew like conceptually about her. I didn't really know anything else. So like I didn't know any of her stories or whatever. I just knew she was like an AI VTuber and that was it. my VTuber knowledge, ironically I suppose, is quite limited. I know her. Who else do I know? I know... What's a shark one called? Like Gura or something? I know... Mori Calliope? I don't think I know any others. C++, man, that's a hard one. Good luck. I hope this is not your first programming class, is all I'll say about that. Presumably you're quite experienced if you're doing a C++ class. It's quite funny seeing the result 5 + 1 = 5. Gorogura. Yeah, that sounds right, I think. What other ones do I know? I think there are more I know. I can't really think of them at the moment though. Or maybe I would like need prompting. Yeah, I don't really know much about VTubers. Safe to say. I love a VTuber concept, but for myself, I suppose, rather than actually following them. I'm trying to think. Iron Mouse? She's a VTuber, right? But who's that one who sang that song? That meme song from a while back. The Requiem one or whatever. Like my third year, I used to learn in different language a while back too. Forget what it is. Oh yeah, then you'll probably be 7. I don't remember. I remember trying to teach myself C++ as well a while back. But this was before I really had much experience in like any coding language. I don't know why I chose C++. I think it's because I read somewhere that it was like what game engines, like the good ones, quote quote, were programmed in or whatever. And I was like, I'm good. I'll program in C++. And then I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then I gave up on it. Will ever I return to learn how to program in C++? Probably not. It's not really relevant in most of my life. Well, fortunately or unfortunately. I also tried doing it while Minecraft was running and the rendering got quite bizarre. It's always fun to see graphical glitches when you toy around with the engine, with controls beyond mortal comprehension. It's very interesting. I'm looking at my Twitch stream preview and the shadows look darker than they do on my actual drawing tablet themselves. I wonder if I got the color balance wrong on my drawing tablet. Like maybe the contrast's not high enough or something. iNoS does release some stuff surprisingly. Had a feature on artist Baby No Money. Mori Calabi and Gura have music too. Where do you either you have a filter on the recording or it's just a compression? I think it's actually the display, my drawing tablet, or maybe it's the angle I'm looking at it for. I don't know. Yeah, because I see it on my OBS as well. I think probably. You know what I think it is? It's because the way my drawing tablet is positioned, the light, my room light shines directly down on top of it, which I think sort of makes everything fade a bit. So it's kind of hard to actually see the shadows sometimes. Oh well. NBD. I don't really know much about Baby No Money, except for when he appears on Smosh content. Oh, I don't know if I would notice a difference. I mean, you can't see it because it's... You would have to look through my eyes, which would be difficult, I think, for most of you, or all of you. NBD, no big deal. Also, it crashed when a bat tried to spawn somewhere. Nice. Well, love that for you, Slime. Oh wait, I forgot for Smosh is still a thing. Yeah, but honestly, if anything, they've gone through like a renaissance period. Well, they're very different. Or they've got like a different cast now, but honestly, I think they're pretty great. I think they're making their stake and claim on the improv comedy kind of scene. Or, I don't know, maybe that's not the best way to put it. I don't know, I find them quite amusing. I like to see, they play a lot of different board games on there, and I like to see them, mainly just to see the board game design, I'm going to be real with you. But it certainly helps that they're quite funny too. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's see the shadows now on the wings. Probably going to run over, but that's a-okay. How are we doing for time though? Okay, we are already running over a little bit. That's, you know, to be expected. When have we not run over? Okay. Do this. I think I could potentially do that as a camera looking at both the table and the other screen. I could do that. I'm probably not likely to do any type of webcam or real life camera business, not for... I don't know, maybe. If I were to do that, two requirements. One, I'd probably still do it anonymously, so I'd need like a mask or something. Two, I would need like a or more clean setup, I think. Not that my setup right now is like dirty or anything, but it's like, I think I would want something more visually presentable rather than like, oh, you know, like I've got my random glasses clock here, or my drawing tablet, or 2 of my candles, which I've yet to light. I don't know, it could be interesting. I don't really do anything which requires very physical, in-world camera stuff. Everything I do is digital and online. Baby No Money does a lot of internet stuff, makes sense. Was hyped from his biggest singles, but the album isn't getting a whole lot of good reviews. It Boy 2 and Antidepressant some of the hardest, so the latest being my fave. Yeah, at the end of the day, as long as you're having a good time with it, that's all that matters, eh? Well, I guess maybe it doesn't, maybe not from like a financial viewpoint, but, you know, that's probably not something for you to be concerned about. Have you ever played Friday Night Funkin' MSMX? You strike me as someone who might have. You missed a conversation I had about earlier, the rare music conversation from me. About a person called Retrospector who made a mod for Friday Night Funkin' and released a load of music for it like a month ago or something. And I was just saying it was a fascinating thing to be able to, I'm sure, to be able to see those character theme songs essentially come to life based on the 7 deadly sins. Oh, you know what? I forgot to listen to the new songs from Has Been Hotel, because I know you spoke about them, and I was like, I haven't listened to them, and I still haven't. My family paying for Apple Music subscription, if that's what you meant. I don't even remember what I said before, so... No, oh no, I remember what I said now. And no, I meant it in the sense of like Baby No Money. Getting money from it. What do you mean I come off as time to play FNAF? I don't know. It's a music game. Maybe that's the only vibe I got from it. Never played it, but did enjoy watching vids when it was popping off. Yeah, I played it like a tiny amount when it was like really popular. But the DDR style of rhythm game didn't super appeal to me. I kind of like the lane-based music games. But I was saying that like this mod, I was like, it's like, it definitely is like a labor of love. I spoke about it in the Animal Crossing today. So I was like, part of me is like very tempted to give it a whirl, just to sort of see what it's like. This shading makes no sense. What am I doing? Whatever. Don't think about it too hard, just send it. Okay, that looks good, I think. Honestly, I see why you'd think that though, but I don't know if I would be a big fan of that kind of music. That's fair. They still like that style though. As totes fair. Okay, let's do overlay. We'll do light. I wonder if can I just be lazy? Can I just do a gradient light and be done with it? Not really. Well, I probably could do a gradient light, but not with that colour. Not with this colour. it even make sense to do a highlight here? I'm not sure. It kind of makes it look like a joker. I'm not doing it, even if it is correct. I don't know. Do you like that style here? I can get down a bit, I think. This is what you said when typing law. You were saying you tried the game. I played it once ages ago. I kind of like the style. I'm not sure how I feel about it now because I haven't listened to a lot of it. I don't even know what style of music I'd be called necessarily, but I can kind of get down with it. Because I feel like it's quite prevalent in a lot of rhythm games, having that very sort of like fast-paced, almost like frantic style, or like very electronic sounding music. So I feel like I'm very used to it, and it feels not, I wouldn't quite say nostalgic for me necessarily, but it makes me think of it as like playing these sort of like rhythm games. Maybe it is nostalgic, I don't know. And on my husband's stuff, it's alright. Still haven't checked out Gravity myself. When the title was released before the song, all I could think was Defying Gravity. This is why I'd sing a snippet of it, but that's a hard song to sing. And I'll try defying gravity. I don't even know the lyrics to it very well. Oh, this is a wing layer. No wonder it's not working. Kiss me goodbye. Oh, wow. I think I'd have to really, really commit to trying to hit that note. If you can hear me, look to the eastern skies. Something like that, right? Wicked 2 supposedly coming out soon, right? No, a lot of people are very excited about it. Apparently Wicked 1 is pretty good. I forgot, I still haven't done the ruffles. Whatever. Was expecting you to go straight to that run. I can't remember it well enough, I think, to even give it a good attempt, unfortunately. Just oh wow, something like that. She does it differently in the movie, right? She changed it up. I forgot her name. I can only think of Idina Menzel, who is not what I want to say. She's the initial Broadway star. What is her name? I know her name. Cynthia Hero. There we go. Breakbeat is considered a main genre of FNAF Volume 1. Might not be right combo though. Okay. Breakbeat. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Of course they changed it. I think, like, it's fair. Like, I feel like it's so iconic, like, as a part of, like, a Dino Menzel, I suppose, covering it like that, but I can respect being like, okay, you know, I'll change a run to be a different thing. Send a screenshot of what Rate Your Music says on Discord. What's Rate Your Music? Breakbeat, instrumental hip-hop, drum and bass, turntablism, bit-pop. I don't even know what some of those are. No, not like to be mad, it makes sense they did it differently. Oh, I see, okay, sorry. Misread it. Misread the connotations there. What have I done with the shadows here? Why does it look like that? There we go. Did hop in earlier for a bit related to that combo of reading tone. I don't really like using a tone indicators / J, things like that. Or just say JK if it's not clearly a joke and things like that. Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever is best, to be honest. I think it's an inevitable sort of thing when you speak online. It's gonna be difficult, right, for all tone to get across. So this is part of a business where you just like, oh, something, you know, could be read across as like sarcastic when it's not meant to be, or like serious when it isn't meant to be, stuff like that. That's just part of the nature of conversation online. You remove one part of a conversation and it's like, you know, hard and necessarily, I suppose, to get the rest of it through as intended. Turn indicators, no turn indicators. Whatever works in my eyes. Okay. There's not really a lot to do with on the wings, I think, for lights. We'll just do probably like a soft airbrush light from underneath. And a much harsher light for the tail. Just to sort of keep it going. There we go. Where's the palette layer? There you go, with that. Dark. I don't know, maybe I should actually just keep the line out as black. It's a rare one where I think black makes a lot of sense. I also have realised I didn't. The wings also need to be upped in colour a bit. Otherwise they're going to be too dark too. Okay, that looks pretty good. I might do a gradient, soft gradient. I'm going to turn down the opacity on it though. But just some things to really give more of a oomph, I think. There's little to no tone to be seen from text. Just need to see the context, I guess, what it's reacting to. Yeah. What can you do? eye glow, which we'll put on as linear light, maybe. I think we'll do this, but then we'll also that's too much. Just turn it down just a bit. And then we can have a much larger. No, I don't want it to drown it out. Okay, I think that's fine. Nice. Oh yeah, we had to figure out what on earth we're doing with shading now. For the clothes, my word, my word. Okay. As I said, I think I'll probably just do patchwork shading. I can't be bothered to shade her frills properly. Which basically just means we go, whoa, whoa, some of it's in light. Some of it isn't. Whoa, whoa. Warning, warning, this is not how you shade ruffles usually. I just CBA. It's too much effort right now. And will always be. When you take a shadow layer, dark shadow layer, and you go, whoa, some of it's in darker shadow. Less of it. Can you believe it? Oh, I just noticed this line up missing from those shadows as well. From those ruffles. Okay. Maybe I'll actually do proper shadows of these ruffles. Just a little bit. Again, doesn't need to be too perfect. Well, 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 well. Okay, wonderful. Since we're back on topic, if I notice my message doesn't quite get across as I want to do, I add something to shift the tone, like an emoji or something. Yeah, emoji is a very good way, I think, to do so. It's like a less intrusive one. Trying to fact check, I understand the point of AI summaries, but gosh, do I not trust it. Robot dear, back. What's the point of AI summaries? On Twitch, about AI summaries? I know YouTube has it as well, whether it like there's an AI summary of like what the chat is talking about. And yeah, often I don't think about using emojis. If I want to use one for somebody to scroll through in my Twitch gift subs, I'm gonna be real, I don't even use the Twitch emojis. I just use the only one I use is for heart. Because that's a universal emoji. Okay, how are we doing for time? Okay. Let's actually finish this stuff off. I think that's probably good for D. I don't think there's anything else we really need to shade there. So it's more about the throne on which he upon resides. And cleaning up his pattern. Okay, I think that's fine. Now checking the neurodivergent thing, if tone and or words are indications of it. Summaries on Google. Oh, I see. I don't need to learn Twitch emojis, I just type Unicode from my keyboard. Like, it's nice to just read the first sentence to get your answer, but it could be completely wrong. I see. Unfortunately, Fradian's not here to be able to help our understanding of it. Am I going to do all the background and one shadow layer? Maybe. You know, actually, I probably won't do this background stuff on a shadow layer. So I do objects. In here. So we do general shadow like this. And then we cast in her shadow. Oh. That's the wrong color. I've just realized. There we go. Only makes a slight difference, but makes a difference nonetheless. So behind her should be in shadow. This can all be in light. Something like that. Dark shadows. Probably just her body parts. Casting a shadow. Maybe a little bit for the throne as well. Light. Which we can do like this, just sort of very generally. The gradient layer we'll probably leave out. Okay, very quick shadows, and then let's do this. I think probably what we'll do is we'll just make it quick, make it easy. Gauze and blur this. You know what? Put a little bit of effort in. Get a yellowish colour, which we'll put inside. Probably actually the answer is actually to make this darker, believe it or not, and then take the original colour and put that inside brighter. And again, it can be quite rough, and then something like that. Then filter, blur, Gaussian blur, 60. I've layer locked it, that's why it's not working. There you go, easy. And then the Hellfire background. Probably we want more of it to be in dark black to give a better contrast to the fire. Methinks. So we'll have the black shadows sort of creep up more and more. But I think what we'll do is we'll get the plumes, we'll put some of it in the foreground too. Something like this, so it looks like it's sort of like lapping up at her feet. Oh my gosh, what was going on? No, it's a different thing. Wow, good job. Since the last time I saw it, looks nice. Thank you, Toylan. I keep on not bringing that convo up to them separately. May still like it more as a group. Converted to Twitch emoji, but a Unicode is different. Weird why I didn't convert this time around. Converted to my end. Since you may not stream next Sunday, was going to ask about any Halloween songs you know, like Going on Flow too. We can talk about Halloween songs. I don't really know that many, I think. I haven't really gotten to Halloween spirit myself, but I don't absolutely need to either. The only one I know is, this is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Trying to think if I know any others. What other Halloween songs are there? Now I'm thinking about it. I kind of like this better as a black silhouette, to be honest. Oh, that's a green silhouette. Probably what I will do though is we'll bring out our favourite tool, the Gaussian blur. That's probably too much. Don't blur it that much. It just needs to be blurred a little bit. I want to see if it looks better with two hands as well. Does it properly look like they're reaching out? I think it doesn't really convey that they're reaching out very well. Hold on, copy paste this. What have I done? It kind of looks like we're going, actually. But I want them to be like, no, save me. I'm still trying to think of Halloween songs. It's quite difficult. Gosh, I don't know any more lyrics about either. Classic though. I am the one. Dun 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 dun. Monster Smash. It was a graveyard smash. I don't really know Monster Smash either, to be honest. Nah, I like the original hand more. Oh, whoops. I think we'll just bring it up. In size. And then we can do a vignette of green fire. Around this. So it gives the impression that you are burning. You know, just turn it down a bit, something like that. And then we could do a dark vignette as well. Like a you are being judged.
Yeah.
Half and half vignette. I think this can also be turned down opacity a bit. I don't want its existence to basically be taken away by...
Yeah.
I don't want it to steal attention away, essentially, from what should be the focal point, which is this point. Okay, what's going on? Spooky, scary skeleton. I've read it's a good one. We're going thriller. Bury a friend. Is that one goes out like, what do you want from me? Why are you scared of me? What do you know? Kill Bill by Scissor. I don't know how that goes. Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. Ah. Abracadabra, na na na. Something like that, right? We don't. I might put a hand behind it, yeah. I don't know if it's a. Oh, I haven't even blurred my hand yet. Turn off a palette layer. I wonder if I should cheat a little bit and basically sort of lighten D up the smallest amount. That's probably too much. Or like, I want to lighten up her face, I think. So we do this, and then we just turn it way down.
Yeah.
So I think it's too dark at the moment. And her face is a focal point. I forgot about the Music League songs. Did anything stick from first round? Just remember I put New Billy on there. I think I've heard, like... I think the Music League's been pretty cool, to be honest. Checking out a lot of different songs. A lot I didn't know about. I didn't know about Lady Gaga's Blade of Grass, and I actually quite like that one.
Yeah.
I remember... I quite liked one of... I can't remember what song it was. I don't even remember how it goes. I just remember listening to it being like, yeah, I'm jamming with this. It was one of her fire ones, but it wasn't Firestorm or whatever. Can I get away with getting rid of this white border? Not really. Unless we turn this one into the white border. Probably we can get away with it being a smaller white border though. Maybe not that small. That's too thick a pen. That's probably good enough for Halloween themed, huh? Okay, what's going on? So you downvoted Earth, Wind, Fire, and Air. It fit thematic, but I don't think I was driving with it. I'm gonna be real. I'm sorry to say. The Fire 2.01. Although I'm not sure, like, maybe I should have kept it because it is one of the most fitting of the thematic. I don't know. I don't know what I would have downvoted instead. I felt like all of them pretty fit the thematic pretty well, to be honest. Maybe because elements is a really broad sort of topic. Funny letter decorations, sorry. What does this say? I'm always cautious of things in a different language which I don't understand. Hopefully it's nothing rude. I don't even think it's a thing. You upvoted that one times too. Oh yeah, Fire 2.8, that was it. Yeah, how I'm doing with the upvoting is I'm upvoting the one I like the best twice. And then everything else which I'm like, I like or I think this is a good choice or thematic, I will upvote once. Something like that, right? It's actually gibberish. Fair enough. The one and Gimme were my least favourites. I just vote based on what I like, my enjoyment. I think that's fair. You know, because I don't think there's a standardised way of how we're meant to be voting. So I assume people are just voting on what they like or what they don't like. Which makes sense. Like, what other metric could you vote on? Oh, I just realised I haven't done a thingamajig. I was talking to a different person and forgot to change the keyboard layout. Mood, bin there. What am I doing? Oh, gradient map, yes. We love a good gradient map. Should I do this gradient map? I guess so. I don't know when else I would use this gradient map. Why on earth do I have a ruler on this? Whoa, look at that contrast. I'm not going to do that, but that's kind of fun. I think maybe that's a bit strong. But that's a bit weak, so probably somewhere in between. I don't want it to completely wash out the purple, but I think the text, let's also bring it down a bit. Nice. I think that's it. I think we're done. We did it, everyone. Oy. I picked something that lyrically may go well with theme for autumn. I had better songs in consideration sonically, though. Yeah, that's fair. I was surprised the song I picked was even on Spotify because it's from a very a Japanese company which is very set in their old ways of not modernizing things in the slightest. So like the only ways you could get their songs were like through CD distributions. But it was there and I was like, what? その時透き通る秋風が吹いたよ久しぶり I think this might have been the first song I learned in Japanese as well. So it's half right. I feel like the background could have been more interesting too. I think so, but like I think there's also not a lot of room to put anything in the background. Like the only space there really is like something over here. Which I don't know what I would put, to be honest. Because the original idea was I was going to have like raining, like lava falls and stuff. But I think with the way I've like lit everything, I think it's nice having this like sickly green fire from underneath. I was wondering how you didn't have certain songs on Spotify. I thought you downloaded a song. No, I don't know. I'm a bit sad that they only had the short version of a song but on Spotify. I don't know why they don't have the full version. Because it doesn't have my favourite part of the last pre-chorus. あなたの声が私振り向けないよくしゃくしゃにね涙止まれなくて Hello, why is this not exporting? Fine, I'll export it manually. My dear, Oshiate. Control Shift Alt W. Yeah, Control Shift Alt W. Why isn't it working? Oh, I didn't have it selected as my layer, that's why. My dear, Oshiate. あの日の二人は Wonder if they put it down for TikTok or something. They could just use a chorus, I don't know, or mode to get the full song. But it's probably to try and get you to get the full song or something. I cannot imagine this company tapping into the real estate that is TikTok or anything like that. That's what I mean by they're quite traditionally backwards. Like, oh, you want to listen to the song? Buy the CD. That's what everyone else is doing, right? Right, fellow kids? It's like, actually, everyone, we just stream music now or download it digitally. And we're like, oh, download digitally. Why didn't I think about it? Download half a song digitally. It's like, what? No. But yeah, that's Columbia JP for you, eh? You check him out and notice my weird message exactly corresponds to the normal message below. So I guess the Russian keyboard is, or I should say Cyrillic alphabet. Similar to like how you type in Chinese. They're like, is your keyboard in English letters? And then like you type the corresponding one, or which is closest to the sound, quote. So many people do TikTok stuff. I've seen the most random artists do sped up and slow down versions. What about when I finally make my music? Am I going to have to do TikTok versions? Maybe. Anyway, we're done with this. Let's change your title screen to the new one. And we can all bow down and grovel at Halloween D's feet together. As she decides your fate. Let's get... I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess MSMX will be the only one here, so why don't we get a raid suggestion from you if you got someone? While I run a 1-minute ad break? My dear Hoshiyate. I can't remember lyrics anymore. A song I used to sing all the time. I even knew the dance to this song. その時透き通る秋風が吹いたよ Not really, the letters on the same key can be completely different. Doesn't have to be similar at all unless you're using a phonetic layout specifically. I guess that makes sense. How many letters are in the Cyrillic alphabet? Wait, is it Cyrillic which is a Russian one, or am I getting this confused with the Greek one? I should say Slavic language. Or one of it. Russian, Bulgarian, okay, yeah. What was it? Oh, it was ultimately derived from Greek unicals. Greek script name. It's just called the Greek alphabet. Okay, fair enough. Tell me about it, because, yeah, like, the way you type in Chinese is you basically type out the sound using English letters. And then you have to, like, select the character you want. You may not want to pop off in music and promote heavily early on, but I would 100% mix in spatial audio and Apple Music for you. I think I'm going to do the tried and true tested DeerDarling way of doing the least effort possible, of I'm just going to upload my music and then I'll let everyone else do the promotions for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not doing it to get popular, I'm doing it to make music, I suppose. If I need to start thinking about how to get popular, then I'll start thinking about that. Most of the people I could think of are people who already did. Straw Bunny, Drip Deer. I think there's no harm in raiding someone again. I think we did Straw Bunny last time, didn't we? Right. We need Drip Deer. I don't know who Drip Deer is. There was no harm in repeating. Let's make a connection. Let's get some people up in here which we know. Live channels we think you like. Drip Deer, Straw Bunny, and Neon Wolf. They're all here right now. Oh wait, Vic Villain. I think these must be all people I've streamed before, but seeing as I basically don't open any Twitch channels, they're like, you must love this channel. Okay, let's search it up. Vic Villain. What are they doing? Splatoon? Splatoon's fun. I don't think we raided them before, so why not? Let's see, Borderlands 4, Drip Deer, Straw Bunny, Marbles on stream, Neon Wolf, what are you doing? Yeah, they're all people we hit up before. Is Slushy there too? I brought her up before we used to watch her. Slushy's not on here actually. Is Slushy even live right now? Oh, Slushy is live right now. Wait, Slushy's also doing Marbles on stream. People love Marbles on stream apparently. Wait, live channels. Wait, am I following? I'm not following Slushy. Okay, next time we go raid, I'll make sure to follow her. Oh, Fumizu, the karaoke one is live too. They're doing Minecraft. Hey, you know what? Come on, MSX. This is your choice. Fate lies within your hands. Who would you like to raid? There's a lot of other people. Moo Clover? Is that someone I've raided before? I don't remember. Oh, Slushy's here now. I lock in Vic Villain. I'm just bringing up people. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Let's do it. That we already did. Yeah. Again, nothing wrong with raiding people we've raided before. We can become a recurring feature in the raids that we do. Because we did it with Straw Bunny twice. They seem very sweet about it as well. Because they were like, our stream times don't really line up. I don't even know how they streamed you, how they raided me the other time. Because they seem to raid after me. Okay, well we're dropping in Splatfest. I didn't even know Splatfests were still going on. I thought they were finished. Aren't we on Splatoon 3 Splatfests? I don't really know how this works. Again, Slushy had a really nice late night comfort streamer mode. Slushy was doing like a subathon thing last time, wasn't she? Did she go? Make clip a favourite part for me. I don't know. Go for it, man. That's what clipping's for, you know? Clip the parts you like. Alright, is it raiding over? Soon enough, I'll say, she's still doing the subathon, my word. Absolute trooper. Anyway, thank you all for coming along. I've only got like a few seconds left until the raid actually goes through, so hope we can see each other again. Also, next week, not streaming. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks, not in 1 week. Let's get out. Thank you for coming along. Nearly added everyone. I can't type on the keyboard. Okay, stop streaming. Has that gone through? DeerDarling's rated. There we go. Okay, stop recording. Let's see it.